All right, welcome to another edition of Thunder and Lightning. I am your host, Dan. Of course, next to me is the wonderful and talented and beautiful Nikki. Nick, what is going on tonight? Nice top, nice hair, makeup. You don't look so much of like a contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race, but
Depends who you ask.
depends who you ask.
Depends who you ask.
You you
The
never
past couple days.
you never realize how many people care about makeup so much and tell you how to do your lips and stuff like that until you go on X and like you're doing it wrong. I didn't know we had so many makeup experts in Giants Twitter. So, Nick, what's up?
Yeah, can you believe it? This is what we have with Giants Twitter and Giants fan base. Did you know that we have like a lot of general managers? We have a lot of talent scouts. We have a lot of makeup artists. We have a lot of Botox experts. We have a lot of hair colorists. I mean, it's just amazing that this fan base can just
Do it all.
they can just really they can just do it all. It's amazing to me. Yeah, it's been a rough few days. Like today I feel fine. Like I worked out, which I'm a little annoyed because I didn't really get to do my hair. It's a little crazy. But yeah, work stuff is good. It's like the social media, I just said I don't trust Daniel Jones and like, oh my God, I sent you like
Yeah, no, nasty,
Travis
nasty,
Benning.
nasty stuff. And I always joke about it. Like, if I wrote what you wrote, it would get like zero reactions, zero likes, zero comments, and then you tweeted out the most mundane Daniel Jones take of like all time. You're the worst. You're the C word. Get stop putting so much makeup on and everything like that. But yeah, see, happy birthday by the way, John.
Oh, happy birthday.
21st birthday.
I don't have my notifications on. So, but I do try to go into the post and like respond and
Yeah.
interact. So that's when I see it. But I don't know. Oh my God. Could you imagine if I put my notifications on for
No,
IG and X? I
forget it.
literally would get nothing done. So I don't have it on. I just think like, you know, Danny, like we can disagree, and you and I have disagreed, and I've disagreed with a lot of people on this fan base, and we can have a debate, but like, can you just keep it to a football debate? Like, what I feel like once you start attacking somebody's looks or you start
Mm-hmm.
calling them names, it's like
Right.
you've already lost. It's like you got nothing, right? So
Yeah.
I say one thing that I don't really trust Daniel Jones, and all of a sudden, like I don't know, the guys who never get laid mob start coming after me. Like, can we just agree that if you speak to women like that, like you're not getting laid?
Well, you're not getting laid and you don't know how to talk to women because I can almost guarantee you if we saw you in public, they would be stuttering. Yeah, there you go. They would be stuttering and like, oh, wow, wow, yeah, like you're beautiful, but yeah,
I did challenge them because we're going to that game together. And I said, why don't you guys, when I'm at a Giants game, why don't you come find me? And why don't you like actually say these things to my face?
right.
You know what I mean? I can't promise that you're gonna get the shit beat out of you because I don't know who we're gonna be sitting next to. And honestly, I don't know if you're gonna roll with somebody just coming up to me and calling me a C word.
No, no, definitely
But
not.
also it's just the point of like you won't say it to my face, but you'll say it behind a keyboard. You know what I
Keyboard
mean? So
keyboard warriors at its finest.
it's just
So
been it makes, and our friend Mal, our good friend of the show, I saw her tweet today that like she's debating just like not even going on X during the games and just that kind of
well,
thing.
I told her that last season and she failed miserably. That it's such a relaxing thing not to go on X during the games unless you need something from a beat writer or something substantial of like an injury and something else like that, or you miss a play. But like actually reading people's ideas, me DVRing the first half of the game the other night was perfect. I didn't watch one tweet other than the texts from all you guys of like, holy crap, we suck. All right, we redeemed ourselves, but we still are in big trouble. So, all things aside, 48 hours later, are you still in the Daniel Jones has to show me a lot? Obviously, I would finish the statement for you. Yeah,
Yeah, so my stance is not changing.
right.
Um,
As it shouldn't.
it's just not. I admire all the fans that are super positive and like overly optimistic. And Danny, can I just be clear? We've been friends a while now, and you behind the scenes, Danny will call me on my shit. Okay, just want everybody to know that. So he doesn't just agree with me sometimes on the show, but it's like, could you please explain to people, because apparently if a woman explains this, like this just does not go over well. Could you please explain to people that I did not judge Daniel Jones based on one game? Do people not understand we have years of a body of work to go off of? And oh, by the way, that like we've been seeing him in camp. Like this has started since the whole off season, right? And it's just like, again, my stance remains the same, because it's like you guys got so excited because he completed a couple passes. Like, oh, he had some zip on his arm. Oh, he got a first down. Like,
so
all right, cool. Danny, did you do your job today?
Yeah, I did.
I did my job today too. Like, where's everybody like clapping for me and giving me like accolades? Like, but no, I did not judge him. And also, I do not need the game of football explained to me, everybody. Like, did not judge him based off of one game. I understand that football is a team sport. You can all stop mansplaining to me. I do not need it. Get off my timeline and stop explaining the game of football to me. I've come this far in my career without everybody's expert help. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. And what I was gonna say to you is it's scary on how much of a situation of like we all should know that what Nikki was saying was a given, and Nikki didn't start just watching football today. She's watched his whole career since 2019.
But they think I just started watching it on Saturday.
That's what it seems like, and it's absolutely insane to me. But it, I don't know. It's just nuts. I'm speechless because it's the same stuff over and over and over again, and it's just like
watching Daniel Jones, right? Like it's just the same stuff over and over and over and over again. Like, you know, so yeah, they think I just started. They think I was born yesterday, and they think that my first Giants game. They think the first time I looked at Daniel Jones was Saturday afternoon. That's what they think.
Right.
And they think I don't realize that football is a team sport.
Right. And John's like, I think you can be optimistic as Giant fans and realize Daniel Jones isn't taking them to the Super Bowl next season. We will have a new quarterback. That's where I am. That's where John and many other fans are. But unfortunately, in 2024, you have to be on one crazy extreme to another. And obviously, that's never a good thing.
So I mean, like that's really like my issue with and listen, I think a lot of fan bases go through this where like there's extremes on both sides, right? Like, you know, actually there's just I'm not going to get political, but there's just a lot that people can go on both sides of it, right? And so that's my issue is like it's so extreme, right? You have the super positive fans who can't be realistic about Daniel Jones and realize, like John's saying, like he's not going to take him to the Super Bowl. And then you have fans that are like already putting together a mock draft, which I think is fucking crazy. Like we didn't even have
I already
listen. This is where I fall. This is where I fall in the grand scheme of things, right? It is exactly like I think we've seen what we needed to see. My only hope for the season is that I hope I'm wrong. I hope he like lights a fire under his ass because he knows he's got to perform. Now you have an offensive line. We hope, we think, right? Pieces are in place. You've got a lot of talent at wide receiver. That secondary is a little bit of a concern, but you know, we have a new D coordinator in there. We think Brian Dable is going to call the plays. Like, so now I just want to know, like, now what's the excuse? I know he's coming off injury. I understand all that, but like, at what point do you stop saying, all right, you're out of passes? Like, there's no more passes. I know you're coming back from injury. Like Danny, how long do you ride the injury thing, the injury? I don't want to call it an excuse because I know he's rehabbing and coming back, but like at what point do you say like, all right, like that's enough? Like,
well,
what week? Like, I just want to know for the super optimistic fans at what point, and I asked them over the past few days, like, okay, guys, but at what point does he stop getting a pass? And not one person answered me. So I just want to know, like, listen, I want him to have a good season. But like you said, if it's Drew Lock that gives us the best chance, great. If it's your boy Tommy Cutlets, which I know you hope it is, so you can wear his jersey proudly and eat your chicken parm sandwiches, like I know you want that. But at what point do you say to Daniel Jones, okay, I know you're coming back off injury, but enough is enough? Like,
right. And I think with the normal fans perspective, it's just like, all right, we've seen enough. And unfortunately, with the hyper Daniel Jones clan, they're going to just, it's been 6 years already, and they've had that built-in excuse, which isn't a good one, isn't a bad one. You could mix and match whatever fits their narrative for that particular day. They will harp on that. And unfortunately, he's all out of excuses. And like, I think,
yeah, right.
like John, like what John is saying, like, is he, hopefully he's good enough for that Daboll and Shane keep their jobs. Obviously that's both of our hopes as well, because we are seeing them starting to build slowly to becoming that hopefully perennial playoff team that we all desperately need and want. I think with me personally, I will give him, like, if he stinks week 1, it's just like, all right, Daniel, like, you have that knee surgery, but you've looked okay throughout the whole entire camp. We really need to get you. We need you to get going, because at the start of the season is actual winnable games, where towards the middle of the season it's just going to be murderer's row week in and week out, and it might be too little, too late if he starts waking up. So we need Daniel and the offense to get going ASAP.
All right, so you give him he has a short leash with you week 1, and then you're done with the injury excuse, because all I got the past 2 days was, you don't understand how hard it is. He's had 3 coaches. He hasn't had an offensive line.
Get that.
He's had no talent. Oh, and he's coming off of a serious injury. Well, lots of athletes come off of a serious injury. My question to everybody, and I don't care, like, tell me now. We're asking you now, if you're watching this show tomorrow morning or later tonight, or you're listening, DM one of us. Tell me, how long do you roll with the Daniel Jones is coming back from an injury excuse? Like, if you get to week 4 and he's playing like dog shit, are you still going to say, well, he's coming back from injury?
Well, that's what the Dan Hives is going to be saying. But at some point, we're going to have to win games. And if it's Drew Lock, is it Tommy DeVito? Is it Daniel Jones? As of right now, I still think Daniel Jones is our best option to win. But at some point, it's just like, enough's enough, and we gotta start putting, like, categories into Daniel Jones' success himself on top of the whole Giants organization. I saw today that the Giants, Daniel Jones too. All right, Daniel Jones hasn't thrown for 3 touchdowns in a game, like in a couple years.
And people want to know why we get mad.
And he hasn't thrown over 20 touchdowns. I know the weapons aren't there. The offensive line sucks. He's missing throws left and right, or he makes a perfect throw.
The offensive line wasn't there for Eli Manning either.
Right, and that's the frustrating thing is, those guys still found ways to score points and scoring touchdowns. It's for whatever reason Daniel Jones is allergic to scoring touchdowns through the air, and that has to change this year. We built the offensive line for him this year. We drafted well at the wide receiver. We have 3 drafted wide receivers this year going into the season that all 3 of them could step up and be solid wide receivers, and with Neighbors a legitimate star.
I got one question and one observation.
All right, and then we got to start talking about Andrew Thomas. But yes.
Okay, I want to get your opinion on it. This is the thing, and like we said, you can say the same thing about Eli. Here's the difference, like with the Eli and the Daniel Jones thing. To me, Eli was able to make everybody around him a little bit better and make them elevate their game. I don't see that with Daniel Jones. Do you?
Well, 22, we did have.
Just take 22. Just that's all like an outlier.
All right, right now, no.
Okay, and you had Saquon Barkley. Okay, so we don't have that this season. And you had Brian Daboll, you had a new coach. Like, maybe 2022 is a perfect storm, but you weren't going to get past Philadelphia anyway, right? So I just don't think, look at his overall body of work. I don't think he consistently, like we said the other day, it's consistently inconsistent. I don't think he's making everybody around him better like Eli Manning did. He found a way to get it done he also had a bad offensive line. I mean, the Giants basically ruined the end of Eli Manning's career. I'm not saying Eli was like great at the end of the career. I'm not saying that, but he went through the same thing.
And what people are going to say, well, Daniel Jones is able to run and everything else like that. Yes, to a degree, but at the same time,
but also the game has changed. I'm talking, but that's kind of my point.
Right,
we're talking years and years ago, and it's the same fucking problem.
And what I'm also going to say to your point is with Daniel Jones is everything has to fall perfectly for Daniel Jones to be a solid to decent quarterback the last 5 years. And where Eli is completely different, and I'm tired of everybody like trying to compare them because they're completely different people.
They are.
Eli would, like we've seen it numbers of times, would take a beating and still find a way to make decent to elite plays and throws. And we've seen it numerous times. We have never, other than the Minnesota playoff game, we have never seen Daniel take the Giants on their back.
No.
And like, all right, guys, other than his first game against Tampa and the playoff game, it was never, oh my God, Daniel Jones put the team on his back. He is a big boy quarterback, and we found a way to win because of Daniel Jones, not in spite of Daniel Jones.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. So with that, my question to you is, let's say Giants finish the season, I don't know, say, Danny, they've won somewhere in the 6-7 game range, okay? Right?
Yep.
Are you going to now? Believe me, if we're winning 6 or 7 games, I know there's other things going on other than Daniel Jones. But since everybody wants to roll with the injury excuse, do you put a piss poor performance like at that type of season, a 6-win season, on the fact that he's coming back from injury?
No. If he's throwing under 20 touchdowns again, and we're not like utilizing our talent that we are expecting to have at wide receiver and hopefully at tight end, and our running back core, and he's still throwing under 20 touchdowns a season, we have issues. And in the league of 2024, 20 touchdowns, it's not 1950. And it's like, we're going to have to throw the ball. And that's been our issue.
Yeah, we just can't throw. They just can't throw the ball. How pissed are you going to be if Neighbors' talent gets wasted?
Of course, I'm going to be livid. And I think that's what I want to say about the people that are blind to the fact that Daniel Jones, the Daniel Hive. I'm asking them, like, do they watch different games?
Yes.
Like I don't know.
They're high. You understand? They're high.
Because like if we're watching the Giants, we unfortunately have to watch them weekly, right? And we're struggling to score 20 points a game, right? We're struggling.
Yeah.
And then after the Giant game's over, you put on Red Zone, you put on Sunday Night Football, and you see guys, it's like a completely
slinging it. It's back and forth, slinging it.
And it's a different sport. And like, don't you guys want to get into the 21st century of watching an offense, being aggressive, pushing the ball down the field? I know you do.
I do.
The people that defend Daniel Jones, like, do you guys watch the other games? Like, it's annoying to watch other teams, and then all right, we won, but we still scored 20 points, and it's like, ugh.
It's like we said, like the Texans were horrible for how long, and now last season,
all it takes is that one quarterback,
right coach, and you are on your way. That's the point I think we're trying to make, is people want to keep giving this excuse that like, he needs time, he needs talent, he needs time. Well, go look at the Texans. Got the quarterback, got the coach, turn it around in a season. Okay, now expectations are sky high. You don't need 10 years or 6 years or 5, 7, whatever many years to fix the problem. Like, and if it's not the offensive line, then there's a fucking problem on defense, or guys are getting hurt, or it's a training problem, or it's, a quarterback can't push the ball down the field. Like, it's just, it's play calling. And Jason Garrett, 1950 play calling. How long do we have to deal with that for? Like, you just keep going back in time. Like, you watch the Giants and you go watch the Chiefs and you're just like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, what am I watching here? It's a struggle at life to watch the Giants.
And we've had Kafka. Excuse me. We've had Kafka, who is one of the golden boys for Andy Reid, and basically helped groom Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. So like, where's why is that? I actually want to ask you that. Why is that there a disconnect? I'm not saying Daniel Jones is not Pat Mahomes. I know that. Yeah, but then you look at like when you watch Hard Knocks and they kind of ran through all the quarterbacks that Dave's has worked with, and it's like, where is this fucking disconnect, everybody? You see the coaching staff and the quarterbacks that they've worked with and the talent that they've molded, and you're still going to say Daniel Jones isn't the problem. Like, where's the disconnect coming from?
I don't know. We would be very rich and we would have our own show on ESPN and WFN if we knew. Yeah, I don't know. It's the $1 billion question.
It's like, how do you help groom Pat Mahomes? How do you help turn Josh Allen into what he was? And you work with Aaron Rodgers, and you get to New York, and both you and Joe Shane, and you just can't figure it out. Like, I just can't. I refuse to believe that. Like, it's never all just one person's fault.
And we know that. And I know people are going to be, well, it's a team game, Danny and Nikki. It's a team game.
Yeah, like, we don't know it's a team game. We understand. We're not watching golf. We get it. It's a team game. You don't need to keep telling us that. My point is, with the coaching staff, is like, they've worked with some of the best of the best of the best. And it's like, why can't you do that here?
Right.
So if you take all that into consideration, would you then err and say, oh, it must be a coaching problem? Or would you logically say, I think we got a quarterback problem?
It's a quarterback problem. We said it numerous times last year. Like, we had Tyrod Taylor pushing the ball down the field. We had Tommy DeVito finding ways to win 3 games when, granted,
without throwing the ball. Remember, they would
and our defense showing up most of those games as well. And it's just like, if Daniel Jones played any of these games, we would have probably snuck into the playoffs last year. And that's the most frustrating thing. All right, so we're gonna wrap up Daniel Jones. He's at nauseum. Daniel Jones. I
know it's at nauseum, but that's all anybody.
I know. I agree.
For a fan base that likes to yell at us and say it's a team sport, they sure only want to talk about one person.
Agreed. All right. So today, big news. Field Yates tweeted out today: the Giants have converted over $4 million of Andrew Thomas's base salary into a signing bonus, creating $3.34 million of 2024 cap space. That leaves the team to have $18 million of cap space, plenty of room to operate with. So there's your question. We're going to have roster cut down days. There's plenty of free agents out there still at the cornerback spot. Do you think the Giants could find a way to get like $4 million in both the defensive tackle and hopefully the cornerback situation? We could bring bodies in there, because maybe, as of right now, they're both very bare in terms of like not star quality, but quality players to fill in those big vital roles that we're looking at it, and it's glaring, because other than Dexter Lawrence, there's really no one there at defensive tackle, and teams are going to find ways to run the ball down our throats for that. And secondary, our second cornerback is going to be completely unproven. Banks is still unproven. So we're as you can see, we were barbecue chicken, Nikki, on Saturday against the Texans.
Yeah.
And if it was a regular season game, they would have kicked the field goal, and they would have been able to move the ball at will against us if there was real game planning and everything else with that. So it's been the glaring hole during camp, and obviously we saw it on Saturday. So where would your glaring hole? Where would you go first? Would you go cornerback or would you go defensive tackle first?
In this, me, either one, honestly. Like, whatever fits the budget. You know what I mean? They both need to be addressed. So, I just let the front office figure it out. I hope they do figure it out. But I don't have one preference over the other. Both positions desperately need to be addressed.
Me personally, I would try to find a defensive tackle first, because with the corners, we are going to have the 6th waiver pickup in a couple weeks when it's roster cut down days. So we are number 6 in that situation. So we are going to be able to get discount bargain prices, which the Giants did great 2 years ago. We have a bunch of guys that we picked up 2 years ago that were key contributors and still are key contributors, like Pinnock and McLeod, and obviously Hodgins, who he might not even make the team. Let's be real. contribute in the playoffs 2 seasons ago. And like I mentioned just now, Pinnock's actually starting and is our most, other than Tyler Newman, hopefully knocking on wood, is our most complete safety in the back end of the defense. So I'm leaning towards there. The offensive line they've done enough for the offensive line this year for them to be average. All we're asking for is the Giants to be average at the offensive line, so we have some sort of time to get rid of the ball and make our offense look functional. So I'm not even worried about the offense. This move is strictly should be for defense and wrap it up, and I'll be happy to go with that. So that's that with the Andrew Thomas news. It's really huge. Thank you, Andrew, for being a team player. And granted, he's getting more money up front now, but it's a huge move for us. We get the $18 million of cap relief. We could have more wiggle room to shore up this team.
Jones needs time to throw picks.
Yes, he has more times to throw picks and get scared and see ghosts in the backfield.
Seeing Beetlejuice. Ghosts and Beetlejuice.
So before we wrap up, before we wrap up the Giant portion of the show, the Giants do practice with the Jets this week. It's another test for the offense to play against a higher quality defense. Granted, there's no hitting the quarterback and everything else like that, but it's still 11 on 11 against a top tier defense, as we saw last year in that monsoon of a game. I'm excited to see. It's basically what it was like with the Lions coming into the Giants facility. We're going to the Jets. We're going to be busting for the Jets. I'm excited to see, can we make that 2 joint practices in a row that we built on?
No.
2 joint practices in a row of like, oh, okay, we are able to. That's another one. Thank you, Rio. I was just getting to it. It's their star quality players versus our young up and coming players. We're gonna be able to see. All right, let's go. Sauce versus Neighbors. Let's see him cook him. Or have Sauce jam him up.
Neighbors cooking sauce.
Cooking some sauce up, or we have Sauce just jamming them up and everything else like that. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for our defense to go up against Aaron Rodgers because we know he's a wizard. So, and Garrett Wilson is a stud. So, I don't know, man. I'm excited for that because, like I mentioned on Saturday, I don't think the starters are going to be playing. If they play, they'll play a drive, and that's about it. So
Daniel Jones needs to get his ass in there and suck it the fuck up.
I agree.
He does. How can the argument be, oh, well, Nikki, he's coming off injury. You don't seem to understand that. And then it's like, well, he doesn't need to practice and doesn't need like those real time like game. Right. Yeah, he does, probably more than anybody. Like,
right. And I've liked how Daboll has constructed practice this whole entire camp of going through 11-11s because that's more of a game situation. So we'll see about that. I'm excited about that. We'll see. Hopefully no one gets hurt on both sides. And by the time Saturday happens, we will take care of business. So that's the Giant portion of our episode. I don't know if Nikki's going to be coming on our next show later this week, but she did post a very good video yesterday of what her thoughts are on the division winners of the NFC. So if you didn't watch the video, go check it out. Nikki tried her walking Instagram video, which was nicely done. We're going to start off with the NFC East. You said it was the Eagles, right?
The Eagles winning the East.
So the current trend of the NFC East withstands another year since 2004, 2005. There is a new division winner every single year since the Eagles winning it back-to-back. So with the Eagles, you just think they're just a better run team after last year's mess up towards the end of the season. The Cowboys are not a dumpster fire, but as close of a dumpster fire a very good team could possibly be. Their quarterback wants to get paid. Their star wide receiver wants to get paid. Parsons wants to get paid. So, and they have a new young offensive line. So, but yeah. So, like, what's your take me? What you think? Why you think the Eagles are going to win the division this year?
Yeah, I mean, basically what you said. The Cowboys are a bit of a mess, but if they can get it together, I can see them winning. Um, I I don't have that much faith in the Giants. Like,
Right,
not until Daniel Jones isn't there anymore. Like, I just don't. Like, Commanders, everything's new owner, new quarterback, new coach. Like, everything is new. So Rio is saying that, like, it's got a whole new team, whole new Commanders. I'm sure that fan base hopes so. Like, they've been long suffering for a while now. I just don't know what we're going to get out of them. Is it going to be immediate? Is it going to be a slow burn? So, I think it's the Giants and the Commanders battling for the bottom. And
right.
I think that leaves Philly up top. I don't think. I mean, would Philly go end the season with like 1-6? Like, they just completely self imploded, and I just don't think that's going to happen again this year.
And they have the firepower in the offense, which we all
And they
know.
never run out of money for some reason. So they
Howie,
just keep acquiring talent. There must be, I've told you, there's a money tree, I guess, the back of Lincoln Financial or wherever their headquarters are. It certainly is not at MetLife.
it's certainly not at MetLife until today when we have $18 million of cap space to run with. So I'm actually, as of right now, I'm going to agree with you with the Eagles. It's just too much going on with the Cowboys, and we all seen how those things react, especially when money's around,
Yeah.
and just too much. I mean, we'll get into our wild cards. Maybe they'll play in the wild card round, but we shall see what's going on with that. I agree with you with that. All right. NFC North. Who did you have for the NFC North?
I took the Lions
You
because
took
I
the
think
Lions.
the
Okay.
momentum is like from last season. I think that's going to carry over. But I did say, don't be surprised if Chicago starts making a lot of noise in that division.
Right. And I'm with you as well with the Lions because the rest of the division just has so much, like, not question marks, but are they there yet? I don't see the Packers having enough that the Lions have at this moment. And I think, well, like the Commanders, I like what the Bears are doing slowly. Maybe next year or the following year, they're going to be in contention of winning that division, but they're still number 3. And then, unfortunately, the Vikings with Sam Darnold the whole entire season is just going to
Yeah.
brutally crush them. I know they have Jefferson, they have other pieces, but unfortunately,
Right.
someone has to finish 4th. So I'm with you with the Lions as well. All right. NFC South. Who do you have with that?
I went with the Falcons.
Okay.
Surprised everybody. Went with the Falcons. Now I've shit on them,
Yeah.
shat on them
We all have.
for years. But cheers to new. They too have new everything. So I just think it's, they're gonna put it all together this season. I
Okay.
think anyway. We'll
Um
see. I just don't know, like, probably Tampa Bay will be like nipping at their heels. I just haven't loved like the Saints, and
no,
I just
I hate the Saints.
don't love what they're
I
doing.
never
And
liked Carr. I never liked Carr.
Carolina is just
They're going to be fighting for that top pick again that
yeah.
they
I
could actually
mean,
use this time.
so I think Atlanta could actually pull it together. And if not them, probably Tampa Bay. But I just figured, you know what, I've shit on them for a while, so let's
And
just
this is without me doing any homework. I'm going Tampa Bay. I the Falcons are that team. Being a Met fan, being a Nick fan, they can do so well in the offseason, and they finally have the pieces. And then for whatever weird reason, the Falcons become the Falcons, and they'll find a way to blow it. I think I personally always like Baker Mayfield, so I'm gonna have another year with Baker, and Mike Evans and Godwin are there. Their running game does just enough, and their coach is a very defensive style team. I like their defense over the Falcons defense. I know I'm saying that right now. I'm gonna regret that, but as of right now, I'm gonna go with the Bucks as a repeat.
okay.
And that leaves us with the West. That's the most interesting and intriguing team. Who did you say for the West? I don't remember.
I went with the 49ers
Okay.
for the West, but I did say in my video, it's getting a little too Buffalo there for me. It's getting a little too circle the wagon for me
Right.
there. And I don't know. Can they like seal the deal? I mean, they kind of are like the Buffalo of the NFC.
Right, and I agree with you.
Oh,
With the Rams, they're getting a little bit older. They had I love McVay. If there's no secret with that. Seahawks, there's a new coaching staff, but they're a decent team as well. And Arizona is still they're a tough team, and with Kyler back, they're gonna be a sneaky team as well. So all four teams could find a way to finish over 500, and like like 3 or 4 well, the year the Rams won the Super Bowl,
mm-hmm.
all four teams made it to the playoffs that year.
Yep.
So, um, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Niners because they just have all the weapons there. I'm gonna go chalk with you there. Um, I need to see Stafford not be hurt. He's also 36 years old, and they're a little banged up. And I don't know enough about Seattle for them to overtake the division just yet.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. But do you agree that it's getting a little too circle the wagon over there in the Bay Area?
Uh, yeah, I think it is, but I still think they're a tier above pretty much everybody in the whole conference, other than let's say the Eagles. And if the Lions kicked a couple field goals last year, who knows?
Yes, the Super
Um,
Bowl we all wanted, Detroit
and
and
and with the
Ravens.
Niners, we all know what the Niners are building up to. They just have to get to the playoffs and actually win a Super Bowl. So that in itself is going to be monotonous, and they could definitely get caught napping. And hopefully CMC stays healthy. If CMC stays healthy, the drama with Ayuk ends, and he plays well for the Niners, and he doesn't get traded. They could easily make a run to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, they can, but they seem to I don't know. Something just seems to not click when it needs to with them.
And in a couple weeks, we're gonna do our wild card picks for the AFC and NFC. So that'll be a lot more fun. Of like, because that'll be a lot more of like, holy crap, you see this team being good? Okay, I don't see that team being good, and vice versa. So that'll be a lot more fun to see how we can fit all these teams into 3 spots going into the season.
Yeah.
Before we do food fight, anything you want to say about your predictions? Any shockers? Because unfortunately, there weren't really many shockers, like I just mentioned. But
No, maybe the fact that I went with Atlanta after I crapped on them for such a long time.
that's fair.
I just, I think like if I had to pick a team that might, be on the come up and get their shit
Mm-hmm.
together, I think it would be Atlanta. I think the Commanders, they're not going to be as bad as people think they're going to be. So,
Right.
I think when the Giants are looking at the schedule, you would be like Commanders cakewalk, right? I don't
I
necessarily think that's going to be the case this season.
so with the Commanders and Bears, they're gonna be that team that you're gonna those two teams are gonna be the team that you decide to bet on at like 1 o'clock, like 12:59. All right,
12:59.
you're like, all right, Jaden and Caleb respectively. You're like, they're both gonna go off and they're both gonna throw like 5 picks, and then the next week, oh, I gotta stay away from them, and they both show up like players we all wanted them to be the last week when you took them in gambling. I could 100% see that. So it's gonna be fun to see the growth of those two guys, and we're both close with Rio, so knowing the day in and day out of talking to Rio on what's the inner workings of the Commanders, I'm excited to see what the Commanders do with Jaden, because I like Jaden at LSU the last couple of years, and he's awesome. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, well, the wild card show will be a lot more fun because
A lot
sometimes
more
division
fireworks,
predictions are a little like,
chalky, yeah.
yeah, they can be. But at the end of the day, any given Sunday, we never know what's going to happen.
Correct.
But I can guarantee you, I don't think the Giants are going to go very
No,
far
we're gonna be
this
where we've
season.
been. We're
Which
unfortunately
is
gonna.
the problem, which just kind of comes full circle, and you summed it up perfectly, which is why people are annoyed with this franchise and the state of the team, because like you just said, we're just going to be exactly where we are, and we've been exactly where we are for a decade now.
Yes, unfortunately. So, all right, that's our football part of the episode. It's Nikki's favorite time of the week. Food fight. I will start off first. Today's dinner was let's say it was a turkey sloppy joes, and my mom put regular hamburger buns, and she sprinkled everything seasoning on the buns.
Hold on. A turkey sloppy Joe?
Right, instead of the regular meat, it was ground turkey instead
Oh, it
of
was
the chopped,
ground turkey.
which was pretty good. You had cheese and all the seasonings and everything else like that. I had a rough day. That's why there was no photos at all. I was drenched like a water rat after my
Yeah.
delays.
Oh, you got stuck in the rain. That's right.
So,
What kind of cheese did you put on it?
she just had regular American. That's what we had in the house. So
Hold
she
on.
just,
Yellow?
yeah, that's what we had. Yep. And
Like
then
not in that little baggie, right?
no, like real Land
Like
O'Lakes.
you would like go to the store and get like a deli counter.
Correct.
Like you take a number.
Correct.
Do you do that?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
Wait, hold on. You actually like go up to the counter and order something?
Yeah, when I personally go, yeah,
Really?
that's what everybody that goes food shopping normally
And
does. Nick.
you really you do that?
Yeah, not everybody gets to call Instacart and pick up food like Princess Nikki over here.
Well, everybody should Instacart. You know why? One, you save money because you're not like roaming the aisles and being like, oh, maybe I want to try this snack or something.
Right.
Okay. Because you can just hit reorder. And two, you have to figure out how much your time is worth. You know, when you Instacart, it's like, oh, you've saved like 5 hours of shopping. Like my time is worth more and my time is better spent like working on my business than going to the store and ordering a pound of turkey.
Okay. Of what? Okay, I hear you, but I like
But even
to.
if I do go to the store, you know, they have like you know what's around the corner, delicious orchards and stuff for me. And
Right,
so but they have like the already like the boar's head section, they already
right.
have it like cut up and done. Like you don't even have to go to the counter.
Yeah, I know. I just like to be
You
like,
like to
hey,
like get the number and stand there?
yeah, because I see the guys or the girls like cutting it right in front of me. I don't know how long the wait how long those packages have been there. You know what I mean? So I like
They're
visually
like
seeing.
fresh that day. Like you have to
I
see them.
know they are. I feel better
How do you
seeing
have the
them.
patience for that? Because I'll see delicious orchards on a Saturday and I'm like, you're joking. I would never stand in this line. What
It's okay.
time do you get to the food store if you go food shopping?
We usually go early enough when before the crowds and everything else like that. So it's
You go on the weekends?
yeah, Saturdays and Sundays.
See, that's what I mean. I'm not spending my Saturday. This is what I'm
We're
not spending
we're
my
we're
time on.
usually an hour tops.
I'm not spending my day off, my time off that I rarely get cleaning, going to some bullshit food store, running around, going to Target. I'm not scrubbing toilets. I'm not doing any of that.
Right. All right. And so that was that, and was sweet potato French fries, which were
You
pretty
guys
good.
and the sweet potatoes again.
Yeah, we're back on that sweet potato kick.
Do you guys clean like on a weekly schedule?
Yeah, we do. Well, my wife mostly does the cleaning, but yes, for sure.
Do you scrub the toilets?
When I need to, but not particularly often. So
I don't know the last time I scrubbed the toilet.
okay,
I just can't do it.
you can't do it. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, no, I can't do it. Like the whole bathroom thing. Like that's why I have a cleaning lady. And she's
Smart.
wonderful and she's been with me for like as long as the Giants have had a terrible offensive line. So,
Oh,
you know, you just let the professionals do what they do. And she's way more efficient than me. It would take me forever.
right. So all right. So what did you eat this weekend?
So, oh, this weekend?
Well, in general, did you eat yet today?
I did eat. I had a lunch meeting and I had a grilled chicken Caesar salad. But here's the problem. Sometimes the Caesar dressing, like, I don't like the white kind. So I just had to like pick at the chicken. Like sometimes it doesn't taste right. There's nothing wrong with it. There's like I don't want to say like an oil based Caesar. It's just like a different Caesar sometimes that like isn't like white based. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, I was like not thrilled with that. So I just picked the chicken off of it. And then I got home and I had some shrimp cocktail. So that's all I've had today. What did I have yesterday? A salad. I made a salad yesterday. And a smoothie. I made myself a smoothie yesterday.
Any worth earth-shattering smoothie concoctions?
No,
recently?
just banana and blueberry, and then a little bit of like collagen, right? Put a little scoop of that in there,
Yeah,
and some
because you know you got to make sure your lips are surgically looking good and everything else like
Yeah,
that.
it's almost time to get topped off. So I can't wait to piss everybody off, by doing that. So, because my birthday is coming. And so I need to just get topped off on my
The
Botox
big
and my lips.
35. The big
Yeah.
35.
Yeah, the
So,
big 3-5.
all right, Nikki. So that's our show for tonight.
Hold on. Did you have dessert?
No, I did not. No, I did not.
Did you have Ralph's this weekend?
No, I didn't. And that wasn't because of my son. We just didn't have time and / rain and all that other fun stuff.
Are you going to have dessert?
Game time decision. I don't know yet.
Oh, game time decision.
We'll see.
All right.
By the
You had a coffee today, right? You had coffee?
Yeah, I had your basic cold foam cold brew with toasted almond.
I like it. I too had I had iced coconut coffee today.
Okay.
Not from Dunkin', from a local place in Red
You,
Bank, because I had a meeting there too.
Hoe.
It's this place called Baker's on Broad. It used to be Prep Coffee in Red Bank, and they have a really good iced coconut coffee. So I had a meeting there this morning before I had to go to my lunch meeting. And
All right. So what else, what can we look out for Nikki this week if you're not going to be on the video later this week?
Oh, on the show? Well, it depends what day you want to do it because my schedule just got changed.
Okay. That's nice and post-show meeting.
Yes.
Right.
So we'll figure that out together. And then I will do AFC walking predictions because you guys seem to like the NFC video so much. And then I know you're away this weekend, right? So I guess we will just recap the Jets game next Monday when you get back.
All right. As always, thanks for checking us out. Please like and subscribe. Of course, thank you to That Sports Network for having us on, as always. Be sure to like and subscribe that channel as well. And be sure to check all our socials, TNL_NYG. And of course, at NickyNick9384 and at DannyB_NY on Instagram and at DannyBhan on Twitter. Until next time, see you then. Go Giants.
Bye, everyone.